Sometimes we do things that just don't make any sense. Everybody does. And one aspect of us doing things that doesn't make any sense is cognitive dissonance. Now, cognitive dissonance occurs when our beliefs, our cognition, and our actions don't line up, aren't consistent. So dissonance is like a tension between things. So when what you believe doesn't actually agree with what you do. Now, cognitive dissonance theory says that when this happens, when there's dissonance or discord between what we believe and what we do, then we need to reduce that dissonance. And the way that we reduce the dissonance typically is not by changing our actions, but doing the simpler thing, changing our beliefs. So, for example, everybody knows that smoking causes cancer, but a lot of people still smoke. A shocking number of people still smoke. So there's dissonance there. I know that smoking causes cancer, and what are my actions? I smoke. So there's a dissonance there, and you have to deal with that dissonance, the disconnect between what you think and what you do. There's a classic study conducted by a fellow named Festinger back in the 50s, where he had people come into his lab and do a really boring task. I think it was like moving pegs around the board. Just imagine having to participate in the most boring experiment ever. Then after you waste half an hour doing this horrifically boring task, the experimenter comes over and says, "Hey, here's $20. Would you tell the person who comes after you that this is actually really interesting?" Or the other condition was you do the boring task for half an hour and the experimenter comes up to you at the end of that half an hour and says, "Here's $1. Would you tell the person coming after you that this is actually an interesting experiment?" So they're asking people to lie for either $1 or $20. The people who lied about the boring task for $1, they had a lot of dissonance. They believe that the task is boring, but what's their action? They're telling other people that the task is interesting. That's dissonance. I know it's boring, but I'm saying something else. Now, the people who have a lot of dissonance, what are they going to do? What they do is they change their beliefs. These folks come to believe that the task was actually a lot more interesting than they remembered. They changed their beliefs. How about the group that was paid $20? Well, what do they know? The task was boring, but I was paid $20 to lie about it. That's a reasonable amount of money, right? You can easily get lunch and dinner for $20. How much dissonance do these people experience? They know the task is boring, but they're getting $20 to tell someone it's interesting. Well, there's less dissonance there because people can say, "Hey, for $20, I'll tell anybody anything." There's less dissonance. So because there's less dissonance, there's less of a reason to believe that the task was interesting. So the people who are paid $20 to lie don't change their opinion about how interesting the task actually was. It's only the people who were paid just $1 to lie that changed their beliefs. They had a large attitude change. Why? Because they experience more dissonance. Okay, let's use another example of cognitive dissonance. Anybody in a medical field knows the research about smoking. Smoking causes cancer, but a lot of people still smoke. So here's the question. What do doctors who smoke believe? Doctors and nurses, what do they believe? They really know that smoking causes cancer, but they still smoke. How do they make sense of that dissonance? What do they do? Well, they could reduce their dissonance by no longer continuing to smoke. That is, by stopping smoking. But that's a change in action, and that's hard. So what is much more likely to happen is that people will tell themselves little stories. They'll tell themselves little stories that reduce the dissonance. So for example, a doctor who smokes might say, "I don't care whether I'm going to die of cancer. I just love smoking." Do you really not care? See, it's a little story. Or, oh, that research, it was only conducted on animals, as if what happens to animals doesn't happen to us too. Or, I jog and I eat really healthy, so that compensates for my increased cancer risk from smoking. So people will come up with these crazy little stories to tell themselves so that they can live with the dissonance between what they know to be true and their actions. Let me give you some examples. So some people love eating hamburgers, which is, meat from a dead cow, but they also believe strongly in animal rights. Animals should not suffer. So there's dissonance there, right? You're promoting animal suffering by purchasing meat, but at the same time you believe that animals have rights. How do you deal with that dissonance? Well, you could stop eating hamburgers, but people don't do that. Instead, they change the way they think. They tell themselves a little story, like cows lead a wonderful life before they're killed painlessly. How do you know, right? Smoking kills, I know this. What's my action? I still smoke. What story do I tell myself to reduce that dissonance? Hey, you got to die of something. I love the United States of America. I don't pay taxes in the United States of America. That's very dissonant. What do you conclude? Only idiots pay taxes. Pfft. In other words, you're perfectly comfortable leeching off of the rest of us in this country you supposedly love, right? It's just a story. I think it is important to eat healthy foods, but in reality, I eat a lot of junk food. So what do people tell themselves when they have that kind of dissonance? I don't have time to cook. I know it's important to eat healthy, but I don't have time. Or I don't eat that much junk food. Cognitive dissonance. It's easier to change your beliefs than it is to change your actions in order to reduce dissonance. We have a huge example going on right now during the COVID pandemic that's related to cognitive dissonance. So everybody knows, they really truly know, that in a pandemic, in this particular pandemic, the way that you protect yourself and your family members and the country is by wearing a mask, because it reduces the spread of COVID. We don't have a vaccine right now in November of 2020, so wearing a mask and social isolating are literally the only things you can do to control the pandemic. But some people, even though they know this, refuse to wear a mask. Absolutely refuse. So there's a disconnect between what you know to be true, that wearing a mask saves lives, and what your action is, but you still don't wear a mask. So what do you do to reduce that dissonance? Well, you have to change the way you think and tell yourself little stories. So one little story you can tell yourself is that the head of our National Center for Infectious Disease Research, guy by the name of Dr. Fauci, that he's lying or he's exaggerating. Maybe the whole National Institutes of Health is just lying. Why they would lie? But that's the story you tell yourself. Or you say, oh, COVID it's a conspiracy. It's not real. COVID is no different from the flu. The flu does not kill 250,000 people in 8 months. Right? It doesn't make any sense, but it's a little story that you can tell yourself to reduce dissonance. Another one I've actually seen people say is that wearing a mask is dangerous, that it causes carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, folks, doctors and dentists have been wearing masks for 8, 10, 12-hour days for 100 years. If it were true that wearing a mask caused people to suffocate, then there would be no doctors, there would be no dentists in the world. It makes no sense. But it's a story that people tell themselves to reduce dissonance. I heard an interview recently about a nurse who works on a COVID ward, and she's trying to keep people alive who have COVID because they didn't wear a mask. And she described people who are on their deathbed and they're not taking their final breaths talking to their loved ones. In their final breaths, they're saying, I don't have COVID. That's cognitive dissonance. Thanks.